Lindsay Peddle, Director of Communications with the Royal Alexandra Hospital Foundation, and today we are here at Sorrentino's with Chef Alberto and the Chief of Cardiology at the CK Hui Heart Centre, Dr. Neil Brass. Thank you both for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
Great. So Alberto, talk to us about what are you going to get started for us today?
So today we're going to start firstly with the beautiful salad. We have some organic green leaves, which is a mixture of different kind of vegetable salad, and we're going to dress it up with the lemon olive oil vinaigrette. I use lemon olive oil because we try to give every different ingredients from the vegetable with the right flavor. So we don't want to cover up, so it's pretty natural and nice.
Great.
So we're gonna have some bell peppers, some carrots, some avocado, some steamed asparagus, different kind of tomato, couple of beets, different color, radish, and cucumber.
Wonderful. Will you get started?
Fantastic.
I'm going to talk to Dr. Brass. So Dr. Brass, we did kick off Heart Month for February at the CK Hui Heart Centre. Talk to us a little bit about, with all the different diets popping up every day, it seems like there's something else we should try. What about from a heart perspective? What kind of diet choices should we be making?
Yeah, generally, if you think it's unhealthy, it probably is. The food that was just introduced here for this salad is all extremely healthy. There's been a big emphasis on plant-based meals, and in general, they're very healthy. There are still certain oils in some of the foods, like coconut. You might see certain diets like keto diet, and certain websites that strongly promote certain elements like coconut oils, which may not be the healthiest from a cardiac point of view.
Sure.
In general, a very balanced diet, probably with an emphasis on vegetables and fruits, would be considered heart smart.
Great. I've been putting coconut oil in my coffee every morning. Maybe I should rethink that.
There's been recently a lot of information from a dietary point of view that some of the fats are not as detrimental from a weight loss perspective as what was previously thought. But from a cardiac health perspective, I think you still need to take that into consideration.
Sure, for sure. What about myths? Any real myths you think people perceive? I mean, you hear about all these just eat bacon. I think keto's especially guilty of those kind of things. What kind of myths would you want to point out to people around heart health?
Well, I think similarly in terms of the composition of what the diet contains, I think some of the original dietary recommendations have become almost mythical. So the initial diets were to sort of reduce calories, to reduce fats, and to alternate by increasing carbohydrates. As it turns out, carbohydrates are not the best thing in general, because it leads to a lot of what's called insulin production, can actually work against trying to lose weight, and it's not the healthiest. So if I was introducing a diet, I would be careful about the amount of carbohydrates that one is substituting. And a lot of the original diets did just that, and that was what the recommendations were. And that's why when you look nowadays, most of the recommendations are to reduce a lot of the carbohydrate intake.
Perfect. Although carbs are usually our favorite part of every meal, I think. At least mine. What do you think, anything from the side of, we're going to cook plant-based today, but I think not everyone wants to eat plant-based or wants to avoid meat completely. So maybe talk to us a little bit about your options from a heart-healthy protein perspective.
I think if you look at the new Canada Health Guide and Food Guide, in terms of the amount of meat, so meat is not detrimental. It's a balance. So if one is going to include meats, certain healthier, less fatty meats, chicken, other poultry, fish, and fish is particularly healthy, and moderate amounts of beef. Everything in moderation, really.
Sure. Stay away from the chicken wings, eat a chicken breast, those kind of decisions.
Right.
Got it.
Lightly grilled on the oven, on the burner, in the oven, is fine. When you start adding a bunch of stuff to it, that's when it starts becoming very unhealthy.
So, Chef, your turn. We've made a beautiful salad that you talked us through. What's next on?
Next one is going to be a beautiful gluten-free pasta. And we're gonna use our plain-based butter alternative.
Okay.
So we try to give the same flavor, the same consistency
Yep.
as the normal butter. So we're
All
gonna
right.
use some mushroom. So 3-4 different kind of mushroom. Everything is fresh. I think the ingredients is the key.
Okay.
We have some roasted chestnut, which I think is pretty healthy. We're gonna use some shallots, onion and garlic to cook. And then we're gonna have some fresh herbs, which I love it. So I think
Of
the
course.
flavor, if you do it right, that's where the flavor is, not on the butter. That's my opinion.
For sure.
Some beautiful olives, some cherry tomato, and then we're gonna finish with the beautiful roasted pistachio. So we're gonna get some fiber, some different additive, and then we're gonna have some fennel sprout. So we're gonna put some onion, garlic, and shallot. Again, this is the real flavor.
What about pre-prepping stuff like that? Is that something I could chop on a Sunday and kind of keep?
Again, anything you can, maybe for a couple of days, but when you cut it fresh, all the property stays there. So if you keep it in the fridge, it's going down, right? So
Sure.
slowly you're gonna lose all the flavor, all the fiber, all the vitamins, right?
Okay, so,
So
it is better.
It is
to-
better, yeah.
to do it
But
that
of
way.
course, life sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it smells good already. Only one
Yeah.
step in.
And there's some mushroom. So we have some portobello, some champignon, some oyster. We can use any kind of mushroom, obviously, right?
Wonderful. Okay. Oh, now
We
got
almost
fresh
there.
herbs. I can smell it.
Yeah,
Smells
so-
delicious.
Then we're gonna add our plant-based butter.
Okay.
Not too much. Here where we get
Flavor.
the, yeah. We're gonna add some olives.
Wonderful.
We're gonna add some cherry tomato. And most important, so now we have the fatness part coming from the butter. We have to give some liquid, otherwise we're not gonna have any sauce, right?
Sure.
So we're gonna take some water while we're cooking our pasta.
I think you mentioned that's not a traditional pasta. So what is? the
No,
pasta?
that's a gluten-free pasta,
Okay.
and we have some protein. So we have a chickpeas inside. So that's a new line that we're trying to launch on our Sorrentino menu for the future.
Okay.
And I think, as Doctor mentioned, so more people starting to get into it. So we have to be ready and to be prepared for our customer, right?
Sure, gluten free. So what is it made out of?
It's made of corn,
Okay.
yeah, and there is some chickpeas as well.
Wonderful.
So there is a lot of different in the market. So we are trying to find whatever works best, whatever is more healthy, and whatever is more that people like it, right?
Yeah, I
So-
know I've tried a few. Some are better than others. I'd say from a
Exactly. So
texture
that's what we are
perspective.
doing. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. That's great.
So this is the pasta. So it's almost ready. We really need some touch of Parmigiano, but we can't today. I'm sorry.
That's why we have the pistachios. and the
Exactly.
fennel,
Yes.
and the
Now we're
fennel,
gonna
right?
finish. Exactly. So, and you see the consistency of the pasta stays there, doesn't break.
Yep.
It's beautiful al dente the way that's supposed to be. And again, most of the people doesn't know, but when the pasta it's harder or al dente, it's very high digeribility or it's easier. So people think that when you overcook the pasta, it's gonna be better, but actually it's worse for your health and for the digestion. Yeah, 100%.
Interesting. Interesting. So I think the common misconception is healthy food doesn't taste good. And obviously,
I don't think
you can
so.
smell, but talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on that.
Again, so people everybody get used to a different flavor. So obviously, if you eat every day greasy,
Sure.
flavory, then you will never appreciate something that is light and properly done, right? So what I'm saying, again, is about moderation. But I think healthy food doesn't taste as good as greasy stuff, for example. But it's just because it's our perception. We get used with some food that shouldn't be. That's, I think.
Yeah,
my opinion.
I think we rely too much
So
on
we're gonna
salt
have
and,
exactly,
and fat, right?
exactly. So if you eat salty every day,
Yeah.
when you eat something which is normal, you don't appreciate. But if you're slowing down, like sugar on the coffee, the same. So
Yeah.
if you get used, then it's beautiful. You understand the flavor of the coffee. You understand the flavor that is the real ingredients give it to you, not the salt or the additive, right?
Wonderful. Well, thank you. This looks
I'm gonna finish a little bit
incredible.
with the little olive oil, and we're gonna give some,
Fennel on top.
yeah. So there is acidity, there is crunchiness, there is protein so there is mushroom, there is everything. So I think it's not a bad meal at all.
It looks delicious to me.
Looks
Well,
wonderful.
thank you so much, Chef.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Dr. Brass, for joining us today. And remember, you can also learn about heart healthy tips and how you can get moving this Heart Month at royalalex.org/Heart Month.